much for joining us. I'm Zach Lazary. Springtime means warmer weather and a chance for you to spend more time outside. This morning we're talking about safety, specifically when you're walking and or biking. TxDOT launched its new Be Safe, Drive Smart campaign. Danny Perez with TxDOT is here to talk to us about road safety. Danny, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So talk to us about state laws drivers need to follow to keep pedestrians and cyclists safe at all times.
So when you're driving, make sure you're yielding to pedestrians. There's crosswalks, there's signage. Make sure you're looking at the signage at all times. Driving distracted, being on your phone, there's all kinds of distractions that can keep you from focusing on safety. So it's always imperative to make sure you're focused. And when you're driving, look out for your fellow motorists out there, but also the bicyclists, the pedestrians. Share the road. Look at, try to see if there's anyone trying to cross the street. There's crosswalks. There's different areas where if you're in downtown, for instance, or in the medical center, there's a lot of pedestrian traffic, a lot of bicycle traffic. Make sure you're constantly looking, checking, looking out for each other. That's how we can save lives. We've seen too many fatalities. Bicyclists, pedestrians in the Houston area. We want to make sure we're doing our part, and all of us together, to bring those numbers down and to end the streak of fatalities, daily fatalities on Texas roads.
Yeah, listen, this is nothing new, but time after time we continue to talk about this. We have to talk about this because of these incidents that keep occurring.
Right, absolutely, and that's why we want to make sure we're pushing that message out. And it's not just on the bicyclists or the pedestrians. The drivers definitely have to take this, because they're driving this heavy vehicle that's can potentially kill someone. So if they're not paying attention or not focused, then the disaster can happen. It can get disastrous out there. That's why we're asking folks to make sure they're paying attention when they're driving. Make sure the roadway's clear. Even if you believe you have the right of way, you have a green light, still scan the intersections, look to see if there's any pedestrians or any bicyclists, and make sure that when you're in your lane, make sure that if there's a bicyclist near you, that you're giving them a safe distance, offering them safe passage, share the road. It's really, really important.
You know, the bottom line here is everyone has to pay attention a little more. Be cognizant of your surrounding, whether it's you behind the wheel, whether it's you walking in a crosswalk or riding a bicycle. Everyone just needs to do their part and pay a little more attention to their surroundings. I do want to talk to you, though. We're talking about today being the first official day of spring. This means more people are going to be outside longer and later. The daylight hours are now longer. The sun is setting later. What reminders do you have for parents who allow for their children to play in the front yard that might spill out onto the front street? Any reminders for these parents and for these children?
Look out for their safety. Make sure for the parents, to make sure that they're having some kind of visual on their children. Make sure that they're in a safe spot. If it's a busy street, make sure that they're focused on what's going on outside around them. And also for drivers and for people that are on the roadway, make sure you're paying attention, staying focused. We can't focus on that too much. I mean, we have to really do our part to stay in focused on the roadway. But the best thing to do is for parents is when they're with their children, keep an eye on them. When you're at the park, even a situation at a park, it could turn deadly quickly if someone's not driving correctly or if they're not driving focused. So staying focused is really important. But the best thing for parents to do is stay with their children, make sure they're watching them. Don't let them play near a really busy road. If it's in a residential street, still keep a close eye. Make sure they're looking at the surroundings, the traffic that's going through there. Sometimes parents put up signage to say kids playing or to slow down. That's fine, and they want to put that in their yard to let people know that there's children out there playing. But it's also important for motorists to, when they're traveling, to just constantly keep an eye out. I always tell folks, make sure just kind of play the scenarios in your head when you're driving. What if a kid's walking and trying to cross the street, or what if a child is chasing after a ball? Just be prepared to stop and definitely slow down. It's really important. We see people driving too fast, going too fast in residential areas. They're driving way beyond the speed limit. That's not safe. That's not going to end well. So we do ask folks that are traveling through residential areas to make sure they're slowing down. The parents can also remind their children to not play so close to the street, to always have safety in mind as well.
Yeah, for folks listening right now, watching right now, and they're interested in getting precautions in place, perhaps in their neighborhood. You know, you talk about streets. If people want to get like a crosswalk installed or speed bumps installed, how can they go about doing so? Where can they start, knowing it might be different if it's a city street or a state road?
If it's a state roadway, certainly they can send us a request and we can look into that for them. But as well, if it's in the city, they can, of course, if it's in the city of Houston, they can always call 311, put that request in. But sometimes they can go to their council members. It just depends on the situation, but not to give up, even if they're told no, or it's not possible at this time, maybe to follow up and see what they can do to make that happen. A lot of neighborhoods will put signage up, but it's also, if you have a situation in your neighborhood where there's constantly speeding, situations where there's folks that are driving unsafely, contact your local law enforcement so they can maybe put some patrols out there. Sometimes they'll put officers out to write tickets for folks that are speeding or not driving safely. So it's a team effort. It's all of us working together.
Yeah, all good information. Danny Perez, thank you so much for joining us this morning.